Okay, what we're going to be doing today is a lot of times in woodworking you need a, something to sand things on that it isn't flat right on a workbench, that kind of thing, or paint something and you don't want it touching because the paint will stick in the grooves wherever it's touching the table. So you need a little bit of a raised table to where you can drill through something. Say I'm drilling through a piece of wood, but I don't want to drill into what's under it. So you need something raised that you can move pieces around, and that's what I'm doing here is making a little raised table. You can make this any size, just whatever size you want. But basically it comes in handy for project routing. You can route around something a lot better if it's stable but elevated. Now what I did with this one is, these are just golf tees. I ordered them from a company out of China called Wish, and this is rubber, which works real good. It holds real well. What you do is drill your holes, and to drill the holes I just took a piece of pegboard that I had to do another project with, and the neat thing about pegboard, I use it as a pattern in a lot of projects. The neat thing about pegboard is these holes are on 1-inch centers. So if you need something that's every 6 inches, you just mark whichever hole you need, and then you can put it on top of your project and mark it, and it's already marked. It's a grid. So what I did that here, and I didn't want to cut it. I could have cut it this size, but I didn't want to because I may need it later. But basically you just put it over the board, and then you mark. These holes are going to be on 4-inch centers. So for every 4 holes, that's where a hole goes. So you just mark it. Take your pen, mark it, and then go to the next one you've marked, mark it, mark it, mark it. Just draw your lines across the grid on the pegboard, and that way wherever they intersect, that's where you want to drill a hole. So that's what I did here. And in order to use these tees, what you do is just figure out about the depth. You know it's not going to be real deep. It doesn't have to be all the way to the bottom. But once you figure out how far that you need to cut whatever you're using to elevate stuff, just take a pair of snips on these. This is plastic. It should be right about there. And snip it. It's that easy. And then when you put it in, it stays. I kind of like all the different colors too. But anyway, now what you end up with is an elevated, I guess you could call it a hobby board, or a craft board, or whatever you want to call it. Anyway, you stick all your tees in it, and these work really good because they got a little neck on here where the rubber's thick, and it stops it right where it needs to be. I know this is taking a couple of minutes, but it's really pretty quick. Anyway, you just stick all your tees in, and now you have an elevated sanding platform, or painting, or routing, or see if I got anything to put on it to give you an idea. Okay, this whole piece of MDF right here. If I was going to route this, you just put it on top, and it stays, won't move. You could use a bigger piece. You can take these out. Say I don't need those. I'm using a bigger piece. And wherever you put it, it stays. And that way you can route it, or paint it, or drill it. Just whatever you need to do to make it work. And that's it.